Have you ever wondered what true strength sounds like in absolute silence? Inside, a powerful force is waiting, one that can break attachments, conquer fear, and reveal an unshakable inner calm. Discover how to train your mind to detach quickly and unlock your hidden Stoic energy in every moment. Train your mind to detach fast. Inner Stoic Energy, compiled and published by Stoic Bloom. Lesson 1. Recognize the roots of attachment. Imagine a river that carves its banks quietly, shaping the landscape over time, yet we rarely notice its patient power. In the same way, the attachments in our minds and hearts create the terrain of our emotional world. Often, these roots are invisible, buried beneath memories, hopes, and silent fears. They pull at us in unsuspecting moments, provoking emotion and clouding our perception, guiding our reactions more than we realize. Every person, at some point, faces that inner push and pull. The sudden jealousy when a friend succeeds, the lingering bitterness after a harsh word, or the silent longing that tugs whenever we watch others from a distance. We promise ourselves not to care, yet our hearts jump toward anxiety or desire. The question rises, why does it feel so difficult to master ourselves at the deepest level, to keep calm when the world around and within us stirs with uncertainty? The quiet battle every soul fights is this urge to cling, to hold, to possess, either out of fear of loss or hope for gain. Our attachments become as tangled as the roots of ancient trees, holding tight to stories about who we are, what we deserve, or whom we should be near. We grow attached not just to people, but to outcomes, beliefs, and the comfort of familiar wounds. Each attachment becomes a silent script, a pattern that shapes how we respond, often robbing us of true freedom and growth. It can feel isolating, as if we are archers stretching bows toward unseen doubts, sending our thoughts aimlessly into the fog. There's frustration when, despite our wisdom, we remain imprisoned by our emotions. Jealousy, disappointment, or clinginess appearing with no warning. What if the problem is not the feelings themselves, but the unrecognized roots feeding them beneath our awareness? Until we learn to see these roots, to recognize their subtle existence, we can never pull ourselves free from their constant influence. The challenge is universal, regardless of how strong we think we are. Emotional mastery and the impact of a truly Stoic spirit begin in the silent places where our attachments grow wild and unchecked. Left unattended, these roots sap our energy, keeping us reactive, defensive, and endlessly chasing what we cannot control. The transformative solution begins simply, but its effects ripple throughout a lifetime. We learn to recognize the roots of our attachments. We bring light to the hidden motivations and silent fears anchoring us to old habits. Mastery starts not with force, but with deep, quiet seeing. With curiosity and honesty, we ask ourselves, where does this feeling come from? When did I first begin to grasp at this desire or resist this fear? The practice is much like a ship's captain scanning the horizon for hidden reefs, gentle vigilance to prevent running aground. As awareness grows, we start noticing patterns in response, times when certain words, places, or memories stir strong emotion. It is here in this gentle witnessing that inner strength develops, forging us into resilient souls who can feel all things but are owned by none. When we begin to recognize our roots, we open space for choice, space to respond rather than react, to approach situations with calm dignity instead of frantic need. The disciplined mind, like the silent fire, burns with light and warmth, rather than wild and uncontrolled flame. Can you imagine the freedom that lies in seeing your attachments and neither fearing nor feeding them? Those who train in this quiet self-awareness stand out. They attract admiration, not through loud achievements, but through an unshakable presence. Each day we bring a little more light to what lurks beneath. The more we are able to unlock ourselves from fears and cravings that once seemed undefeatable. We begin to reclaim peace as our natural state. With every root uncovered, more of our power is returned, like steady winds filling the sails of a once-lost vessel returning home. The wisdom of ancient Stoics lives in these moments. Recognizing attachment's grip is the start of every journey towards freedom and strength. This self-mastery is not cold indifference, but energized presence, the ability to navigate turbulent waters because you finally know where your anchor lies. In this way, our invisible roots no longer keep us stuck. Instead, they offer deep nourishment, transforming us from seekers to masters of our destiny. As you cultivate this sensitive inward attention, remember that the greatest victories are won inside, and your roots, once exposed to the light, become fuel for the strongest, calmest self you have ever known. Take a few quiet moments each day to observe your feelings without judgment. Trace them gently to their first source, naming each root honestly. Journal what you uncover and reflect on how this awareness changes your responses. You'll notice clarity and calm blossoming within, as emotional mastery becomes your natural state. In our next lesson, you'll discover how to pause before reacting, turning insight into empowered choice. Let us know your experience or share your reflections below. We'd love your support and ideas for future videos. Lesson 2. Pause before reacting to emotion. Imagine for a moment standing as a lighthouse on a rugged shore, unblinking and steady as waves crash and storms howl all around you. The world's tempests rise unexpectedly. A sharp word delivered like an arrow, a missed opportunity echoing with emptiness, a heated glance that sets your heart pounding. Emotions drive toward us like unpredictable tides, strong, immediate, and intense. For many, the inner conflict is how quickly these tides carry us away, leaving us caught between what we feel in the split second and what we wish we could have chosen after the surge has passed. Consider those moments. A friend's careless comment stings, anger flickers like a sudden flame, and before your conscious mind catches up, you've already replied with words you cannot recall or even truly mean. Shame and regret follow, and with them the heavy thought that perhaps we are only the playthings of our passions, not their careful captains. This storm inside is a nearly universal struggle. The pain is not only the guilt of rashly spoken words or the shiver of embarrassment at public outbursts, but the deep sense of helplessness. Why can't I just pause and think before reacting? Why do I feel at the mercy of emotions that vanish as suddenly as they appear? Society applauds quick wit and instant replies, but inner peace belongs to those who master the space between stimulus and response. Far too often, we are archers loosing our arrows before ever truly seeing the target. Instead of guiding our trajectory, we are tossed by the force of habit, never discovering the serenity or strength that lives between provocation and reply. The cost is heavy, a heart in turmoil, strained relationships, and the sense that calmness will never be ours for more than a fleeting moment. There is, however, another way, a timeless practice that is both elegant and accessible. The solution is to pause before reacting to emotion. Though it sounds simple, this pause is powerful, a deliberate act that reveals a subtle yet indestructible facet of self-mastery. Rather than an absence of emotion, this is the presence of awareness. The brief but golden moment when you step back, breathing deeply, inviting calm into racing thoughts. In this stillness, much like the clear sky that follows a storm, or the steady embers that remain after excitement fades, you make contact with something deeper and unmovable. The fire does not go out. Instead, it brightens from within, while the chaos outside loses power. The solution begins with training, catching yourself as soon as you sense your heart speeding up, as irritability rises or fear tightens your chest. In that instant, do nothing but breathe and notice. This simple act is the point at which the silent stoic within you begins to awaken. Adopting the pause is an act of quiet rebellion, a refusal to be ruled by habit or turmoil. It grants you time to consider, reminding you that you are not required to answer every blow with a counterstrike, nor every worry with a hurried promise. In the practice of controlled silence, you become both archer and wind, choosing when, if at all, you will fire your next thought or word. The greatest transformative benefit is the peace that flows in this space, a quiet confidence that grows as you realize no force outside of yourself can truly control you without your consent. As you train your mind in these small, vital moments of watching, you begin to unlock a new, undefeatable layer of self. Small pauses, taken again and again, become second nature, like a sailor steering with skill through previously treacherous waters. confident that storms can be neither avoided nor feared, only navigated with wisdom and grace. To pause before reacting is to give yourself the mastery and freedom that you have long craved. Like all ancient wisdom, the process feels almost enchanted in its simplicity, but becomes profound through steady application. Begin now. Breathe, notice, let the silence expand, and step forward as the silent Stoic who is always more powerful than any passing storm. The next time emotions surge, pause, take 3 deep breaths, and observe what you feel without acting on it. Notice how this short stillness reshapes your response and grants real power over your reactions. As you keep practicing, peace grows stronger in your heart. In our next lesson, you'll discover how to observe without absorbing energy. Share your journey and feedback with us below. Lesson 3. Observe without absorbing energy. Picture a serene pond at dawn, the surface undisturbed as mist drifts lazily across smooth water. Birdsong and distant wind reach the pond, yet its waters remain clear, reflecting the sky above without being troubled by the gentle chaos all around. In life, our hearts and minds long for this unspoiled clarity, especially when strong emotions, both ours and those of others, blow toward us in heavy and unpredictable waves. For many, the secret yearning is not just to endure turbulent social currents or chaotic environments, but to stand at the center calm and unshaken, able to witness everything without inviting the storm inside. Every day, countless moments test our boundaries. We walk through offices or homes swirling with complaints, criticism, insecurities, and unspoken drama. A friend vents about her rough day, leaving you as tired as she was before. A colleague's anxiety infects your own calm, picking at the inner seams of your focus and restfulness. Family tensions build, growing into clouds of energy that seem to press inward even when you try to shield yourself. So often, it feels as if we have no filter. One strong mood from someone else can seep into our spirits without asking, shifting our own mood in unexplainable ways. Perhaps you have found yourself avoiding certain people just to stay steady, or realize that you echo others' frustration or sadness without meaning to. Each time, a question arises: why do others' energies hook us so easily, leaving us drained, rattled, or off balance long after the interaction has ended? The challenge is ancient, echoing as far back as the earliest gatherings of people. How can we be open and empathetic, yet no longer sponges soaking up every current we encounter? For so many, the struggle is mistaken for weakness of will or insufficient kindness. But the root problem is this: when we encounter powerful energy, especially negative or intoxicating emotion from others, we're often carried by habit straight into that vibration. Our nervous system, still wired for ancient tribes and dangers, reads every frown or sigh as a signal needing mirroring or reaction. Each time, the control over emotion and the silent, stoic strength you wish to embody become elusive, replaced by a restless heart and distracted mind. Now, you don't just navigate your own storms, you fight invisible battles brought to you by anyone who crosses your path. Yet, there's a liberating Stoic practice waiting for you: to observe without absorbing energy. When you learn to witness the play of emotion and turmoil outside yourself without letting it color your own soul, you unlock one of the core powers of the Stoic mind. This practice is not cold detachment, but radical clarity, a willingness to offer attention while keeping your internal space sacred and untouched. Picture yourself as a lighthouse on a rocky shore. Storms may come, boats may founder, but the lamp continues its steady turn, lighting the way for others without flickering itself. At first, this seems mysterious or even impossible. Can you really see others' sorrow without carrying it? Are you allowed to let anger pass across your field of awareness without inviting it in for tea? The answer is a powerful yes. Observing without absorbing combines presence with discipline. The process begins by becoming aware of your senses during moments of emotional exchange, feeling your breath, the weight of your body, the rhythm of your pulse as others speak or react. As you sense the shift in the room or the spike in conversation, quietly return your focus to this grounding anchor. Like a ship steadied by deep water, even as winds whip the surface, you can witness every rise and fall without capsizing inside. The magic here is that this practice neither rejects nor resists what is happening outside. Instead, it draws a gentle line between what belongs to others and what belongs to you. You offer compassion, yet you remain whole. Imagine the mental and emotional freedom that blossoms the first time you leave a difficult conversation, feeling just as strong and grounded as when you entered. Visualize yourself moving through crowds or conflicts as a calm presence. A silent fire whose warmth is offered willingly, but whose core is always protected and serene. Over time, being able to observe without absorbing means you can master your environment rather than being ruled by it. This is a skill that not only unlocks peace, but also radiates influence and unshakable confidence. The disciplined soul that can stand quietly in any storm becomes magnetically attractive to others. Behind such stillness is tremendous power, and when you practice this as often as you remember, you continue your training as a truly silent Stoic, alive, awake, and undefeatable in any situation. Practice grounding yourself in your breath or body whenever you feel another's emotions rising. Gently say to yourself, "This feeling belongs to them, not me." You'll notice greater calm and strength as you hold your center with ease. Next, we'll explore how to set internal boundaries with grace. Share your stories, like, and offer your suggestions below. Lesson 4. Set internal boundaries with grace. There's a power in the world that moves quietly, like a moonlit tide receding from the sands, gentle, certain, leaving behind only what belongs and sweeping out what does not. Imagine for a moment becoming this shoreline within yourself, calmly deciding which waves to welcome and which to let ebb away. This vision calls to anyone longing for wholeness in a chaotic world where demands, opinions, and chaos press in from every side. We each arrive in life with our hearts wide open, eager to please or connect. Yet as seasons change, we learn that not every current is meant for us. Not every voice deserves entry past our inner walls. Internally, an ancient struggle unfolds. A part of us wants to remain generous and present, while another voice whispers warnings, craving peace and the soft armor that real boundaries provide. Consider the countless times you have felt yourself stretched thin, when a friend's endless needs drain your spirit, when a workplace expects your constant yes, or when family pushes you to accept what feels wrong. There's great beauty in caring for others, but without a clear sense of where yourself ends and the world begins, even good intentions can lead to exhaustion and resentment. Maybe you recognize the tension between what you want and what is demanded of you, the ache of giving too much and the fear of appearing cold, selfish, or indifferent, simply for needing rest or space. Perhaps you've tried to set limits abruptly, but found they came out bristly, sparking conflict or guilt. Each incident leaves you confused, wondering if harmony with others must always come at the price of your well-being and confidence. These silent battles are more common and profound than we often admit. Without inner boundaries, we become like open gates on a stormy night. Everything and everyone sweeps right through, muddying our sense of purpose, crippling focus, and diluting the still fire that makes us unique. Deep down, you long for unwavering peace, that inner anchor which resists being swept away in other people's chaos or opinions. The risk is not just exhaustion. It is losing touch with the quiet wisdom inside that tells you what feels true, necessary, or nourishing. Without boundaries, the mind is cluttered, the spirit tentative, and our ability to impact the world atrophies. Here is where an ancient yet transformative solution rises. Set internal boundaries with grace. In its essence, this is the art of silently declaring what enters your sacred space and what does not. Choosing what you give, how much of yourself you surrender, and when to retreat for renewal without apology or anger. Unlike building walls of steel, real internal boundaries feel like drawing a delicate golden line through the heart, visible only to you, but unbreakable in its power. This is the art practiced by Stoics, setting limits not from fear, but from deep self-respect and quiet certainty. You begin by knowing your limits, what brings you alive and what scatters your energy. The transformation starts within, with promises you make silently to yourself that you will honor what matters, even if the world pushes for more. To set internal boundaries skillfully is to practice disciplined self-kindness. Consider yourself as the wise captain of a ship. Just as a captain would never let 100 crew members clamor for control, you do not allow every outside request or emotional need to guide your course. Instead, you receive each new demand with poise, listening with presence, and calmly determining if and how you respond. The benefit is immense. You move from a life of scattered obligation to one of energized purpose. Moments spent in this gentle, unwavering awareness unlock a new confidence. You attract respect and admiration, not because you never say yes, but because you know when to say yes to yourself. As you set boundaries from a place of grace rather than guilt, relationships deepen, your inner calm is restored, and the silent strength within you begins to glow more brightly with every choice you make. Learning this art doesn't numb or harden you. Instead, it sharpens your sense of freedom and authenticity. Every small, inward no is a strong root that nourishes your enduring yes to what truly matters, keeping alive the still fire of disciplined purpose within. Boundaries drawn with grace do not repel the world. They unlock your best self, making you truly undefeatable in your journey to master both emotion and destiny. In this caring clarity, you are free to offer your energy wisely. To give not because you're compelled, but because you choose, knowing you can replenish your inner reserves and radiate bold, attractive calm without ever losing yourself to the tides of others. Pause and tune into your needs before saying yes to any request. Visualize a gentle inner line and let it guide what you accept or decline. With regular practice, you will notice deeper self-respect and peace growing steadily. In the next lesson, you'll learn how presence eclipses possession. Share your boundary victories in the comments and help shape our channel's future. Lesson 5. Choose presence over possession. Imagine a garden filled with rare, fragrant blossoms lit by morning sunlight, alive and resplendent in their natural beauty. The true wonder of this garden lies not in plucking each flower to own or display, but in walking among them with full attention, inhaling their scent, feeling the earth beneath your feet, open to everything the present moment offers. There is a subtle power in simply being, with a person, an opportunity, or an experience, without the desperate need to clutch, label, or possess. Within each of us, however, this gentle wisdom often wars with instinct. We grasp at life, clutching for certainty or control, believing that ownership brings fulfillment. Yet deep down, we sense a hollowness, a sense that the treasure is buried not in what we hold, but in how we attend. So many struggles stem from this confusion between presence and possession. Think of how easy it is, when in conversation with someone we care for, to reach for assurances, expecting them to act a certain way, or fearing they will leave if we do not control the script. Consider the anxiety of clinging to outcomes, fixating on goals, status, or things, which quietly undermines our enjoyment of the present and feeds dissatisfaction, fear, and resentment. We become haunted by what-ifs, unable to rest in simply sharing a moment or exploring what is, because our mind insists on grasping guarantees or future rewards. This inner chase, noble as it initially seems, binds our spirit, echoing daily in relationships, careers, and private dreams that slip through clenched fists. The common pain is always loss, a deep, often unspoken ache that comes not only from losing something or someone important, but from the constant tension of fearing the future, craving approval, or needing events to unfold on our personal timetable. Like archers aiming at receding targets, we wind up exhausted, stretched tight with longing and disappointment, unable to fully draw satisfaction or peace from any victory or loving connection. Much of our suffering, the Stoics teach, flows from this confusion. This habit of confusing what is truly ours, our presence and choices, with what is never fully ours. People, outcomes, the changing world outside. There is a powerful, liberating alternative. Choose presence over possession. In practical terms, this means making room inside yourself for every experience, person, or moment, without the need to control, define, or possess. Presence is a discipline of curiosity and acceptance, a willingness to stand in the moment as it is, tasting its fullness before the urge to label or acquire sweeps in. It requires training, of course, to quiet the reflex to cling, But with practice, the urge softens. You begin to meet yourself and others on new ground, no longer shadowed by expectation. When you choose presence, your attention comes alive. Life is richer, more vivid, yet also lighter, because you're no longer weighed down by relentless striving. This simple shift changes everything. When you learn to greet each encounter and emotion as something to experience, not grasp, you unlock a deep well of serenity. Suddenly, it becomes easier to engage deeply with those you love, to work and create with wholehearted energy, and yet never falter if plans change or losses come. You begin living as a silent Stoic, powering your days with an inner stillness that cannot be taken away. The proof is in your peace. Anxiety fades where presence rules. Attraction grows where pressure to possess dissolves. Strength deepens as you face life's shifting tides, anchored in now, not in what you might lose or need to claim. Choosing presence over possession is thus far more than a mental trick. It is an ancient key, unlocking freedom that makes you undefeatable, able to master emotion and circumstance alike, touching life most deeply when you hold it most gently. Whenever you feel the urge to control or possess, pause and gently shift your focus to what you can sense and appreciate in the moment. Practice this daily and watch your calm, fulfillment, and attraction grow naturally. Our next lesson is about letting go without losing heart. Share what presence feels like for you and help enrich our community with your insights. Lesson 6. Let go without losing heart. Picture a sturdy ship gliding through the open sea, sails drawn tight with purpose, leaving behind the shadow of stormy coasts but holding steady toward horizons unknown. There is dignity in the ship's journey, not in clinging to the shores left behind, but in its unwavering trust that what lies ahead is worth facing with courage and a clear, undivided heart. This image invites us to reflect on our own journey through uncertainty, change, and loss. How often does your heart resist letting go, caught in the undertow of memories, attachments, or hopes that refuse to fade? You may know the wisdom of moving on, yet a powerful voice inside whispers that letting go means surrendering joy, meaning, or even self-respect. Caught between fear of emptiness and the natural ache of loss, we risk anchoring ourselves to what no longer serves us, unable to greet the new day with open arms. Almost everyone encounters a moment when clinging seems easier than release. It may be a relationship grown thin, a cherished dream now out of reach, or a role in life you have outgrown. Even objects, routines, and old beliefs can seem to own pieces of your heart. The pain is subtle but persistent, a heaviness in the chest, a reluctance to accept endings, or the secret dread that what once made you whole can never be replaced. Sometimes it is grief that sharpens every goodbye. Other times, it's the anxiety that letting go might mean losing all identity and comfort. Such emotions are universal, often growing stronger in a world that teaches us to value possession, achievement, and an endless forward march. And yet, the longer we grasp at what is leaving, the harder it becomes to find joy in the moment or summon strength for the future. Exhaustion and anxiety are the shadows left by all that is desperately held when it is time to let go. In the path of the Stoic spirit, there is a gentle but powerful remedy. Let go without losing heart. This is not the numb release of giving up or the cold withdrawal born of disappointment. Instead, it is the courageous decision to open your grip while keeping your spirit bright, purposeful, and compassionate. Imagine an archer who, after careful aim, releases the string, not because the arrow is lost, but because letting it fly allows it and the archer to fulfill their purpose. True letting go honors what mattered, learning from it, even as you clear the way for new experiences to take root in your soul. The essence of this practice lies in acknowledging and even grieving what is passing, then blessing it on its journey and blessing yourself as you step forward. You do not lose your heart, you set it free. As you practice this art of letting go, an unexpected strength rises within. Instead of shrinking, your world grows. In place of scarcity, you encounter abundance, not of things, but of presence, wisdom, and renewed connection with your inner core. You become lighter in spirit, less encumbered by regret or fear, and more capable of meeting each new event with graceful resilience. The transformation is quiet but unmistakable. Where once your energy seemed scattered by longing for the past, now your fire burns steady, illuminating your path ahead. You unlock the deep calm that belongs to those who can say thank you and goodbye in the same breath, each farewell becoming an act of empowerment rather than a wound. The wisdom of letting go without losing heart is ancient, yet fresh each time you choose it. It asks not for cold detachment, but for a fierce kind of trust, that who you are cannot be diminished by what you release. Only in that moment of surrender, like the ship sailing onward, or the archer's arrow singing in the wind, do you begin to touch the freedom and unshakable resilience that mark the truly silent Stoic. When something needs release, acknowledge it gently, take a deep breath, and offer gratitude for its role in your journey. Notice the relief and renewed sense of possibility as you surrender. With practice, you'll discover your heart becomes lighter, not lost. Next, we'll explore reclaiming peace as your core power. Share your letting go stories below and inspire our collective growth. Lesson 7. Reclaim peace as your power. Visualize a candle burning steadily in the center of a dark, silent room. The glow unbroken, its radiance undisturbed by any passing wind or distant sound. The flame is small, yet the tranquility it casts is profound, gently transforming the whole space. Inside each of us is this place, a core of deep, quiet peace, untouched by any storm raging on the horizon. For most, though, that peace feels elusive, as if only accessible in rare, accidental moments. When the world slows, the noise fades, or life moves perfectly according to plan. More often, daily worries, pressures, and emotional flare-ups threaten to snuff out our calm, leaving us feeling powerless or scattered. The longing to reclaim peace as a true source of strength grows stronger with each challenge endured. This inner conflict is familiar to anyone who strives for emotional mastery or unwavering self-possession. How often do we react to life's storms by tensing up, fighting back, or hoping simply to endure another hectic day? We may achieve control in one area, only to lose balance in another, endlessly cycling between temporary relief and the next surge of stress. Obligations, misunderstandings, setbacks, or unexpected criticism can pull us away from our center almost without warning. Even as we practice Stoic skills and entertain uplifting thoughts, peace seems forever on the back foot, rewarding persistence only with brief visits instead of steady companionship. The pain of this struggle is real. You may find yourself exhausted by waves of anxiety or anger, wishing you could feel unshakable rather than always braced for the tides of emotion around and within you. The root problem is often hiding in how we see peace itself, not as our birthright, but as something fragile, situational, even passive. We tell ourselves that peace will come when things settle down, or if those around us behave as they should. This illusion keeps our sense of power entirely dependent on the shifting world. But what if peace is not the absence of trouble, but the unwavering fire within that thrives through both calm and chaos? What if your truest peace is not weakness or withdrawal, but the ultimate strength precisely because it remains untouched by anything external? Too often, we try to guard our peace like a delicate flower, closing off, defending, or retreating from life. In reality, reclaiming peace happens by learning to hold it inside, available and unconditional, even while storms gather. There is a powerful, ancient remedy for this modern tension. True Stoics reclaim peace as their central power by understanding and practicing one life-changing principle. Nothing outside of me determines the state of my spirit. Only I get to decide whether I allow anything to disturb my peace. This is not a childish stubbornness or retreat, but a disciplined, continuous act of choosing again and again to respond rather than react, return to the breath, and hold true to inner values, even when everything around you invites you to scatter, panic, or fight. Imagine a ship in wild seas, not protected by smooth water, but by its unshakable hull, the archer whose stillness makes the arrow's flight possible, the candle flame that glows brighter as the darkness thickens. Reclaiming peace is about protecting your flame, not from challenge, but through it. The core benefit is nothing less than transformation. Every time you remember that peace is your right and refuge, anxiety loses its edge, criticism softens into perspective, and setbacks turn into invitations to practice greater mastery. This type of unmovable peace does not erase emotion or remove risk. It holds you steady so all your actions and choices grow from clear, empowered awareness instead of desperation or fear. Those who cultivate this presence are undeniably attractive and magnetic, not because they have fewer storms, but because they radiate the calm and courage others need and crave. Your discipline in returning again and again to your peaceful core unlocks a well of untapped power, one that cannot be taken from you by any loss, disappointment, or challenge. In this way, peace is no longer a prize at the end of struggle, but your shield, your secret weapon, fueling you as you move silently and powerfully through every changing tide. Begin each day with a quiet moment, grounding your focus on steady breaths and reminding yourself that your inner peace is your true source of strength. With each challenge, return to that core, letting peace guide your response. Over time, you will notice more clarity, resilience, and a magnetic, silent power growing within you step by step. You've just completed a powerful journey into mastering your emotions and building silent, stoic strength, from breaking attachments to reclaiming deep inner peace. Thank you for choosing this path and engaging fully. If this video helped you, please like, comment your insights, and subscribe to support the Stoic Bloom channel as we grow together.